Living from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful women.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Purpose Summit. I'm Sue Erda. I'm your host for this event, and I am one of the publishers at Powerful You Publishing. And gosh, we love doing what we do. And I especially love these interviews because I get to talk to the most amazing women. It's just such an honor for me, and I learn so much every single time, and it just juices me up. And so I hope it does the same for you, and I think it will. Today, we'll be talking with Rebecca Saltman, who is one of the co-authors in the upcoming book, Women Living on Purpose, which is launching on June 29th. I'm so excited because Rebecca shared a really neat story in the book. I think we might talk about it today. And it was something I hadn't really thought of, and not that I hadn't thought about it, but I didn't know her title, The Cassandra Complex, and what that means. And it was great, and I know you'll love it too. So I'm going to read a brief introduction of Rebecca, and we'll get started talking with her. Rebecca Saltman is a visionary of change and rabble-rouser for good. She believes our big work is to establish a future that is equally distributed, and women's voices are critical. Her purpose is to ensure impact where all women are seen, heard, and believed. Early in her career, she worked with Steven Spielberg's Survivors of the Shoah Visual History Foundation to ensure that the experiences and bravery of Holocaust survivors was remembered, honored, and believed. 22 years ago, Rebecca founded a social entrepreneurial and media justice organization that bridges the needs of business, government, nonprofits, academia, and media to redefine systems that no longer serve the emerging future. And Rebecca, I am happy to talk with you today. How are you?
I am so happy to be here with you, and I'm so very grateful to be a part of this amazing group of women all living on purpose. I mean, how lucky am I?
You're lucky. I'm lucky. It's all great. It's beautiful. I love it all together. And so your title today for your interview is Being Seen, Heard, and Believed, a Way to Live on Purpose. And I love that because it's something that so many of us have struggled for maybe in our days because we felt like we knew stuff and it wasn't being heard or believed or people weren't open to us and all of that. So I know we're going to get into that a little bit. Tell me, how did you get started helping people be seen, heard, and believed?
Well, so I grew up in Boston Children's Theater, a place where children were performing for other kids. It was a professional theater company. It was magical, creative, an incredible community, and for such a kid's work, really hard work. And one of the very first things I learned that everybody needs to sweep the stage. And so this was both a metaphor and a real life practice. And it meant that no matter if you were the star or you were an usher giving out programs, everyone had to turn to their turn to clean up and sweep the stage. So this also taught me and all of us that things that seemed really hard could be done together. So for example, a dress got ripped, we would use gaffer's tape. A piece of scenery broke, we could use gaffer's tape. Or even like sound equipment wasn't working, maybe we could use gaffer's tape for that too. And maybe I even have to have some here in case the interview needs to be
Duct
gaffed.
tape. I recognize that duct tape.
Right. So this also, we had to all learn and to understand that when we listened to each other and we heard each other, we could all work together so that when the curtain would rise at 8:00, everything would be ready and everybody would be excited and everybody be on the same page. So as an adult, this philosophy manifested itself as collaboration. And I discovered I could work best with those who believed in competition, in collaboration and not competition. So people who believe in collaboration were most often the ones who I could personally see, hear, and in turn, they could see and hear me. So for example, when I first moved to Colorado, I worked with Huntington's Disease Society of America as the national field director, basically a major fundraiser. And ironically, this disease is that very few know, see, or believe because it is truly so horrible. Huntington's is a triple threat. It's a neurological movement disorder that is like a combination of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and most challenging, it's genetic. And there's a 50-50 chance that a gene can be passed down from a parent to child and it's dominant. Terrible. So when people with Huntington's are in the throes of the disease and presenting symptoms of this, they are often confused with somebody that might be drunk and disorderly because the movement is so big and awkward. And sometimes these people walking down the street can get thrown in jail to detox. I mean, horrible. So my work with them was a huge collaborative effort with scientists and doctors and social workers and family members and other interested party like police and fire departments, so we could educate them to make sure that they would understand. And was also like super disruptive. We would use all sorts of guerrilla marketing techniques and unconventional interactions in order to get the media's attention. It's like, so we wanted to get the stories of these amazing people out there, and these disruptive techniques helped us to fundraise and educate the broader world so that those affected could be seen, heard, and believed. And although I haven't been working with Huntington's for many years, most of the ideas we worked on are still being used today. So well, in fact, that Huntington's disease is a main storyline on General Hospital, the longest running daytime soap opera. And it's been featured on other popular TV dramas recently, like Call the Midwife, The Rookie, and Revenge. And so the other piece is that this work was so foundational to me and was critical in my own health crisis where I wasn't seen, heard, and believed. I was able to use some of these tactics and thoughts so that I too could be seen, heard, and believed. And then these days, I do things like weaving the women of the world together through technology. So on International Women's Day on March 8th, 2020, I launched Women on Purpose, a virtual trade show platform. We were all considered the platform like sacred ground online, where women had a place where they could be seen, heard, and believed, and ultimately a place where we all could belong.
Yeah, I love that. I know that was one of the things, obviously, that connected us because the titles are so similar. Women Living on Purpose, Women on Purpose. I love
Right.
all of it.
Thanks.
Now you and I have talked, Rebecca, and at length a few times. And I know that we both agree that we're in a time of transformation. And you refer to this as specifically a time of two canoes. Tell us about that. What does that mean?
So let me give our viewers and listeners a bit more backstory and explain about my chapter, Disrupting the Cassandra Complex, so everybody can have a bit of context about the two canoes. So many years ago, a dear friend and elder, which she'll probably be annoyed of me saying, saw me struggling around wanting to make the world a better place by being a bit of a workaholic, or what she called me, a causaholic. I was working on several charitable projects simultaneously, trying to carve a place where I would be valued doing my work as a Cassandra. At the time, I didn't know that this Cassandra complex was a thing. And it has been holding women back for like centuries. And in the same period of time, my dear cousin Leslie taught me about the Greek mythology surrounding Cassandra. She pointed out that I might be experiencing the Cassandra complex. So this is how I describe it in the chapter. So I'm going to read the beginning of my chapter. The term Cassandra complex dates back to ancient Greece. As the story goes, the god Apollo was smitten with Cassandra, the beautiful daughter of Priam, king of Troy. He bestowed upon her the gift of prophecy. But when Cassandra spurned his romantic advances, he became furious. Instead of taking away her gift, he did something far worse. He placed a curse on Cassandra so nobody would believe her prophecies. Cassandra was left with the knowledge of future events, but could neither alter these events nor convince others of the validity of her predictions. This is problematic for so many reasons. I can't even start. However, let's go back to the question about the two canoes and why I believe that this is related. So because this elder is a bit of a Cassandra herself, and because she knew I was struggling with being seen, heard, and believed, she thought it would be important for me to understand about coming times, and that once I heard the story, I might not have to work so hard, basically. So my friend learned the story of the two canoes from her elders, and it describes the world in two ways: the Old World Canoe and the New World Canoe. The Old World Canoe is a place of fixed traditional thinking, where change is challenged and the future is, we'll just call it bleak. The New World Canoe is about a regenerative renaissance, maybe. People and the earth are most important, and the future is open to so many opportunities. So the concept has worked on me and changed me ever since she started telling me about this. So let me just describe the story. So there are two canoes in the world, the Old World Canoe and the New World Canoe. Have you been in a canoe, Sue?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
So you know they're a little tippy, right?
Yeah.
So we all started in the Old World Canoe, and many of us knowing that there was something greater, we searched and searched and searched, and we found the New World Canoe. And when we found this New World Canoe, it became our personal mission and our work to get people to come to the New World Canoe because it was so awesome. Now let's be clear. It's very hard to get people that are in the Old World Canoe to see the New World Canoe. And we really believed everybody would love the New World Canoe. And once they were there, they would understand what we were seeing and feeling and experiencing. However, people in the Old World Canoe couldn't see, hear, or believe us because they're, let's call them stuck, or stubborn, or sick and tired, or probably most likely just scared. So we chose to bring them to the New World Canoe anyway, because, not so smart. It's cute, but not so smart. And it's the hardest work ever because, again, they're tippy, right? So imagine you have to take somebody from the Old World Canoe into the New World Canoe. So first you have to full body stretch, pull the canoes next to each other. Then you have to straddle the two boats and then carry the other person into the new canoe. Inevitably, with all good intent, you still fall in the middle in the dunk. And you can't get out of the water in the New World Canoe because the work is not about that. You have to go swim back to the Old World Canoe, get out in the Old World Canoe, and rinse and repeat, right? So again, stretch, straddle, do this whole thing. It's really hard. The elders explained that there would be a time when we had to stop doing that work, the work of bringing people from the Old World Canoe into the New World, and just focus on the canoe that we are in and be with our people. What I've come to understand is that we are in that time now, and it's no longer our work to convince or cajole or drag kicking and screaming anyone for any reason. And during these times of great transformation, we need to focus on where we are and where we are going with who we are with. We don't have to work so hard. And when we are with our people, our tribe, we are also believed. Bottom line, we get to choose what world we live in.
Absolutely. So what would you suggest for somebody who's stuck in this Old World Canoe?
So I would say some people in the Old World are in the Old World because this is what they grew up with, right? What they were comfortable with. Some people get stuck because they don't feel believed, like me, So for a very long time, I felt as if I wasn't seen, heard, or believed. It was really the Cassandra complex in action. And other people get stuck because they are unable or do not know how to believe in themselves, really. So for decades, I have seen, felt, and experienced all of the ways that humans live this lie of separation. And for this conversation, I'll call it the Old World and the New World Canoes. I've seen and felt the disconnection and the inevitable and inequitable systems. These broken economic and social systems that are trying to keep with the status quo, or unhealthy lifestyles and diseases, and now sort of pandemic, and deep resentment and bitterness, and ultimately unconsciousness. And it has been built upon this foundation of deception that we are all separate in the Old World Canoe. We are not in the Old World Canoe. We are not separate. We are all connected. So, what do I suggest? First, I would congratulate you for knowing that you're stuck. Many people never even get that far. Next, I would say that the distance between the two canoes may seem vast, in this particular moment. And then you have just taken this massive step. So awesome. And then, as many wise people say, it is small steps many times. Then I would deeply acknowledge your will to act, because asking questions, especially question like the question, what do I do when I'm stuck, is such a huge step. And then I'd rejoice that you too are beginning to see and believe that there is a better future. Here's the thing. I know there's another way. I can see what is possible, and I feel humanity connected. And I hear your stories from the future beckoning us to create a new world that works for all of us.
I love that. And,
Thanks.
we are in this time of transformation. There's no question about it. If we're paying attention, we recognize this. So imagine that there are people out there, they want to be in the New World Canoe with us, with you, with us, with me. How do you help them get there?
Well, thanks for asking that, because honestly, it starts with all of us. It starts with me, but it starts with each and every one of us, right? I coach, support, and teach people who see, sense, and believe. And so when I say see, I mean those whose self-awareness is at a point that they are so dissatisfied by not being seen, heard, and believed, and can see past today to the opportunities of tomorrow. And then when I say sense, I mean, I'm an empath, and I naturally feel that there are great benefits to acknowledging one's empathic abilities. Empaths have a deep sensitivity toward others and the ability to understand the experience of somebody else's world as if they were your own, and have the ability to maybe even step inside another person's shoes. So I work to collaborate in sharing these skills so we can all heal these systems on every level. And then when I say believe, I mean those who are courageous enough to define their current environment as the old world and wish to be in the new world, and trust in a better future so hard that it becomes possible. And I do this by convening events that better the collective, storytelling so we can collectively remember the wisdom that came before. I'll guide you to see your future. So for example, I was talking with a colleague of mine in South America. She described her passion for supporting a greater presence in the commercial and residential real estate market for women. As she was explaining this to me, the vision unfolded that I needed to introduce her to a client of mine in the US who was working on opening new real estate markets around the world. It came to me that their connection would change the world, and that this connection opened up a brand new market, taking both of them way out of their box. And it opened up opportunities for many women that never would have had the chance. And another example is that, so part of my ability to be able to see the future has given me the gift of healing. I work with essential oils and stones and healing techniques that don't necessarily require what one would consider traditional healing on a massage table. And I also have a significant network of other healers. So a couple of years ago, I was talking to a client of mine, and we were discussing that she was quite stuck, and it was causing her significant anxiety, so much that she was even manifesting pain and headaches. So as we started to map out some small next steps, we first discussed addressing the pain of the headaches, and first because she was experiencing a terrible anxiety and headaches just thinking about this mapping process, which made me super sad. So first I was able to give her a couple of samples of common essential oils to calm her down, get rid of her headache. And great news, they worked pretty quickly. And then next, as we started to map out the text, we talked about some techniques to help her help herself. And then, like in my first example, I was able to connect her to a couple of practitioners that I saw would really support her in her journey. So this all worked out so well that now she's selling essential oils with me and became a certified in some healing techniques. So she's a healer too. So when working with my clients, we first explore the following: know where and how you are stuck and acknowledge that you're stuck. And then the next piece is, why are you stuck? The third is my favorite, is like, who's sticking you? And it could even be yourself. And then we create a map of what you can do to change. Because together we find the things that you can't see for yourself. because I'm a disruptor for good. So the most important part is that I guide you to believe so you can become the greatest catalyst for your own future, because we can build and paddle into this new world canoe into a truer, better world.
Mhm. I love it. I love everything you have said. It makes perfect sense to me. And the main message, or not the main one, but one of the messages, like you started out talking about, we are all connected. No question about it. We are all in this together. We are all connected. And whether we're in the old world canoe, the new world canoe, or straddling. In between, and I think that many people, most people, maybe I would guess most people are straddling in some way unless they've really stepped out and done it. Do you have any, tell me, final words for our listeners who are saying, okay, here's Rebecca. I get it. I want to be in that new world canoe with her, but I'm still straddling this. How do you guide people?
So basically, I just want to say, everybody watching and listening, just like climb in the new canoe with me and let's get going, right? I just want to invite y'all to come and play.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. So Rebecca, how can somebody learn more about you, connect with you? How do we get to you?
So I have a brand new spanking website. And if all goes according to plan and Mercury cooperates with us, here it is. It's www.disruptforgood.life. And that's www.disruptforgood.life. Also, you can email me at Rebecca, Rebecca, at disrupt, DISRUPT, for good, FORGOOD.LIFE.
Beautiful. I love it. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your website. I'm excited for the work you do. I'm excited about the new canoe, the new world canoe, because I'm there with you. I will say there are things that keep me stuck sometimes, and often it's other people that want me to be there with them. So I think that we experience that together as a collective sometimes. So thank you for everything that you do. I so appreciate you and your beautiful energy, the work that you're doing, the really important work, because you are a disruptor for good and you are helping people to move into this new world canoe with you and inviting them. So thanks so much.
And thank you, Sue. This has been a great pleasure and honor, and I'm so excited for all of us.
Me too. Me too. And listeners, thank you. Thank you for being on your own path to purpose. I know that you are here listening because you have some vision for your life that maybe isn't yet fulfilled, that you want some more ease on your journey of growth. So thank you for being here and listening. Be sure to buy this book, Women Living on Purpose, on launch day, which is June 29th. On that day, if you go to our website, which is womenonpurposebook.com, womenonpurposebook.com, we will guide you to Amazon, the exact page to buy that book on Amazon. And you can buy either the paperback or the 99-cent Kindle on June 29th, one day only, 99 cents. And you'll be able to bring that receipt number back to our website, plug it in, and then you'll get access to more than 35 gifts from our partners and authors. And they are awesome. So all these free gifts. Great book, beautiful stories, beautiful empowering stories that will inspire you and give you some guidance on your own path to purpose, and you will love it. So be sure to do that, and also continue to listen to all of these authors on this summit, because they are a wealth of information and they are here for you with open hearts, open minds, and such great stuff that you are going to use in your life. So thank you all. We so appreciate you, and have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye for now.